Marissa Davenport, and I'm here with candidate Branden Kunz, and we're here with, he's representing the Melting Pot Party, and let's go and get started. So, why would you want to become the president of the United States?
Probably because I just really think that this country as a whole needs to change. Not only by aim that change. Most of the in our prior history presidents, they've all been pretty strong left or right in relation to Republicans or Democrats or a third party. I think that with my deal with the Melting Pot Party, I think that we really believe in kind of merging these two to make one like unified body, if you will. So I think that we just really need to change, and I think I can be the change that we need, the steady, consistent America that I know we have the potential to be.
Next question. Your name is the Melting Pot Party. Can you elaborate on how you got that?
Yeah, it kind of ties into what I was just saying. So, we, the Melting Pot Party, decided to come up with it because our beliefs are really similar. They kind of fall in between Republicans and Democrats. So if you were to have Republicans on the far right and Democrats on the far left, and you kind of merge them in the middle, we're really in the middle, and we're the Melting Pot Party because we take a lot of beliefs from main ones, and we kind of fall towards the center, which is where most of the majority of Americans are. So I think that the name really represents well what we stand for and how we stand for the ideals of both Republicans and Democrats in more of a center manner than far right.
Now we're going to take two questions from the audience. Go ahead.
What is your stance on gun rights?
Yeah, my stance on gun rights is pretty firm that I believe the Second Amendment should be upheld and protected. I believe that if you try to change the Constitution to make it so that you cannot have the Second Amendment and you don't have the right to bear arms, that it would turn very similar to how the Prohibition era turned, and that when Prohibition happened and they banned the consumption of alcohol of Americans, all it did is just cause this really dirty market and where everybody was still getting alcohol and consuming alcohol, but the money wasn't regulated, and it turned this very bad and made all these drug lords very rich and infamous. And all it does really is just take away money from the government, and it makes all of in this case was alcohol unregulated, and in this case it's guns, excuse me. I just feel that if a criminal, someone who wants to rob a bank, someone who wants to murder someone, if they really want a gun, they can just go and get a gun off the black market. So I believe that we, the American people, should have the right to bear arms, because if all the criminals are just going to get them in the black market, we should have guns in order to protect ourselves. So that would be my stance on gun rights.
All right. What is your stance on immigration?
My stance on immigration is pretty firm. I believe in firm borders, and I think that we should have a higher cap of who we let in with more firm backgrounds. So I believe that we should have 30,000 immigrants per year, and I believe that the backgrounds must be way more in-depth and really figure out a lot more questions, certain things like that. Yeah, so I believe in firm borders. I believe that we should let some more in, but we definitely need to put a cap on it and have a lot better background checks as of now.
All right.
And there you have it. Does your political party group have meetings or meetings?
Yeah, so for the Melting Pot Party, our main symbol is basically this big pot, and it's a pot, and then on the top it's a bunch of different colors like red, blue, green, orange, purple, stuff like that. And then on the bottom, it's kind of the bottom of the pot is melting down, and then there's a few colors dripping out of it. We did that because as a Melting Pot Party, we have a lot of different viewpoints and aspects all coming to merge in the middle to create our party and our beliefs and stuff. As you know, the melting pot is really what America was called when it was first founded. And those are kind of the similar ideals and beliefs we have. So we did that as kind of a representation of, we can take these beliefs, and we kind of most of our beliefs fall in the center of those. So I think that's our symbol and kind of what it represents as our party as a whole.
How did your political party group cooperate and give support towards you?
Oh, they were great, because it's not like I'm here, this is what we're going to do, this is what we're going to do, I'm strong here, strong there. It was more of a group founded kind of I'd have an idea, they'll have an idea. We kind of combine that, find a happy medium, talk about the positive, negative, what could be, what couldn't be. And it was more of a group team effort than this is what I'm doing, it's my way or the highway kind of deal. So I think that really helped because it gives me more of an outside perspective rather than just my own insight on certain topics and issues and stuff like that. So I think it really, my party definitely helped me out a lot.
So what makes you stand out from all the other candidates?
I think kind of as I was saying earlier, most of the other candidates have been and most likely will be very far right or left and third party or Democratic or Republican. And I think that this is that I personally stand out much more because I'm much more centered, and I think as a whole, our entire party is much more well-rounded than the other ones. Because a lot of the American voters and everything fall more in that center category than far left or far right. So I think I stand out the most because I'm the most consistent, I think I'd say, of all the other ones. So I think that would answer that.
All right, and that is the end of our interview. Here we have Branden Kunz for the Melting Pot Party.
Thank you, guys.